Greetings and welcome to another Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team video. Today I'm reviewing the Kasrkin Kill Team found in the Shadow Vaults box set. Before we get into things, thanks go to Games Workshop for finding this to review for free. As always, I aim to be honest, impartial and constructively critical. And please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought of the video and the Kill Team as a whole. If you want, I've got a Discord you can check out in the episode description below, as well as a Patreon if you want to give me some more support. But yeah, this is my review of the Kasrkin Kill Team for the Imperial Guard. And yeah, let's start off with the narrative. So, the Kasrkin are the elite of the Imperial Guard Astra Militarum army. They're Cadian veterans, but they can be drawn from any regiment. And they are basically, they're the elite special ops of the Astra Militarum. And they are patrolling, well, because, there's been this influx of Space Hulks in 40k. And these are the teams that are sent out to board and either destroy who's inside or loot and salvage any valuable technology inside as well. They are the special forces and carry a plethora of special weapons, especially as they're Cadians, usually to deal with Space Marines. So they have a lot of high armor guns to deal with powered armored targets. So for the Kill Team archetype and roster, you get Recon, Security, and Seek and Destroy. You get 10 Operatives in your Kill Team. Like, the archetypes are a really good selection, mainly because you get Security. So you have a Kasrkin Sergeant that can either have a Bolt Pistol Power Weapon, Hotshot Las Gun or Gun Butt, Hotshot Las Pistol and Power Weapon, or Plasma Pistol and Chainsword. Personally, you go with the Plasma Pistol Chainsword. And then you've got 9 Kasrkin. So you've got a Combat Medic, Demo Trooper, 5 gunners, a Sharpshooter, who technically is your 6th gunner, and then a Recon Trooper, Trooper, and then Vox Trooper. So other than your Kasrkin Trooper, your Kill Team can only include 8 Operative once, and your Kill Team can include no more than 4 Kasrkin gunners and a Sharpshooter combined. So basically you either have 4 gunners, who are all different, or 3 gunners and a Sharpshooter. So that basically, because I think you always take the Sharpshooter when we go into it, so that leaves you a leader, a normal guy, and then 4 gunners and 5 specialists. So yeah, it's not a bad mix. For their Tac Ops, you have Faction Tac Op 1, which is Vital Objective. You reveal in any target reveal step after the first. If this is revealed at the end of the target reveal step of each turning point, select one objective marker that friendly operatives do not control to be your vital objective marker until at the start of the next turning point. At the end of any turning point, if you control that vital objective marker, you score 1 VP, and if you achieve that in another turning point, you score another one. This is actually really good. I really like this. It's not so great on Into the Dark, obviously, but this is really good on missions, especially that have mission actions where people run away. I really like this. Really good Tac Op. Then you've got Faction Tac Op 2 Stand Fast. Reveal this in any target reveal step. At the end of the turning point, if friendly operatives control 2 or more objective markers and you control more than the enemy, you score 1. And if you do another one, you score it again. Basically exactly the same as Veteran Guardsman, which is good. Then you have Secure Zone. Reveal this in any target reveal step. If this Tac Op is revealed at the end of the target reveal step of each turning point, place one of your secure zone tokens anywhere in the kill zone that is more than red from your drop zone and within 2 white horizontally of an enemy operative. At the start of your next turning point, remove that token. At the end of any turning point, if a friendly operative is within 2 white horizontally of your secure zone token, and no enemy operatives are within 2 white horizontally of your secure zone token, you score 1 VP. And if you do it in another turning point, you score another one. So the way this works is it's quite canny. You can pick someone, you ignore verticality, but you could pick someone on a top floor and then measure from the ground floor 2 white away from them. Because it's still a bit, probably needs an FAQ for clarification, but it's basically securing zone that isn't near where you are. And I think it's an okay Tac Op, but preferably I would go with Faction Tac Op 1 and 2. Faction Tac Op 3 isn't bad, but I think it would be more good against elite operatives. For their ability, your faction has the elite special rule. So you start with 10 elite points. Each time a friendly operative fights in combat or makes a shooting attack, In the roll attack dice step, you can spend one or more of your elite points to adjust one and only one of your dice. For each point you would spend, add one to the dice result and reduce the number of elite points by one. So for example, let's say you had a shooting attack and you rolled a 3, 4, 4 and a 5. You can spend one or more, but generally you'd spend 1 point to make either that 3 a 4, so you get 4 hits, or you could change that 5 into a 6 to get a crit and 2 hits. Or let's say you rolled a 4, like 3 4s. You could spend on one dice 2 elite points to make one of those 4s a 6. So that becomes a crit. So some nice dice modification here, but that's all their abilities. You don't get any special rules, like you don't get any, what do you call it? You don't get any orders and stuff. This is all they have. So for their strategic ploys, you have elimination pattern. Until the end of the turning point, each time a friendly Kasrkin operative makes a shooting attack with a hotshot weapon, excluding a sniper weapon with the snipe profile, against a target that is not in cover, you gain piercing 1 for that, or for your critical attack. A hotshot weapon is a ranged weapon that includes hotshot in its name. So it doesn't seem great at first because it only works at stuff in the open, but you don't get the gets hot special rule, and there are rules in the kill team that work with triggering this, so I think it's okay. Then you've got safeguard. Until the end of the turning point, each time a friendly shooting attack is made against a friendly Kasrkin, if it is in cover, you can reroll any or all of your dice results of 1. This is okay, but I would have preferred +1 cover. Clearance sweep is place one of your clearance sweep tokens anywhere in the kill zone. Each time a shooting attack is made by a friendly Kasrkin operative within 2 white horizontally of that token against a target within 2 white horizontally of that token, in the roll attack dice step of that shooting attack, you can spend 1 elite point for free during that shooting attack, even if you don't have any of your pool, and then at the end of the turning point, remove that token. So needs to be clarified for verticality, but either way, it's a nice way to get some free dice modification. It's all right. Then you got reposition. Select one friendly Kasrkin operative that has more than blue from enemy operatives. That operative and all other friendly operatives within blue of that operative and more than blue from enemy operatives can immediately perform a free dash action. You can now use this strategic deploy during the first turning point. Okay, like I think it's great for a turning point to reposition, but like it's good. I think it's really good. You just have to time it right. For tactical ploys, you have cover retreat. Use this when a friendly operative is activated until the end of that activation, while the operative is visible and within red of another friendly operative that is not within engagement range of an enemy operative. You can perform a fallback action for 1 less. So you basically can fall back for 1 AP and then shoot. It's not bad. I think it's pretty neat. Neutralize target. Use this in the roll attack dice step for a shooting attack made by a friendly operative. If the target of that attack is not ready and either has an engage order or is not in cover, you can reroll any or all of your dice for your shooting attack. It's a basically better CP reroll stratagem, and I like it. It's just more situational, but I think it's much better. Seize the initiative for CP reroll initiative dice. Fine. I think it's not bad. I might use it, like it's not bad. Then you've got Focadia. For 1 CP, add 1 to the damage characteristics of both of your gun butts, and each time you would lose a wound on a d6 and a 5-up, you don't. It's not bad. I think it's nice and thematic, but it's better than nothing, I would say. So for the operatives, you have the Kasrkin Sergeant, who has 3 white, 2 APL, GA1, 3 defense, 4 up save, and 8 wounds. You've got the bolt pistol and like all the weapon profiles there. The special rule is leadership, so in each strategy phase you add 2 elite points to your pool, so quite important keeping them alive. Personally, I would always go with the plasma pistol and chainsword. Compared to the hotshot las gun pistol, like the hotshot las pistol, like the plasma pistol is just better. It's AP, wounds on, it hits on freeze, so he's one of your most accurate shooters. And the chainsword actually has ceaseless, so it's actually pretty solid, whereas the power weapon is nice, but you kind of want that plasma pistol in there. Then you have the Kasrkin Combat Medic, who has the general profile of just 7 wounds and a 4-up. Your hotshot las gun, spoilers, hits on 4s for everyone, and it's 3-4, so it's basically a bolt gun. Has the same medic rule as every other medic, but still pretty solid. Then you've got your Kasrkin Demo Trooper, who looks like Fat Man from MGS2. So he has a hotshot las pistol and the Melter Mine, which is 4 attacks hitting on 2s, 4/2 with mortal wounds 3 on a crit, AP2 proximity, and a gun butt. So he has blast padding. So each time a shooting attack is made against this operative, if the ranged weapon has the blast special rule, or makes a shooting attack against each other operative within range of a specified point, e.g. a mine, In the roll defense dice step of that shooting attack, you can reroll any or all of your defense dice. In addition, this operative is unaffected by splash, unless it is selected as the target of the shooting attack. So it's nice. He's got that extra padding for a reason. Then the mine's proximity special rule. The first time an enemy operative moves within white of this operative's melter mine, make a shooting attack against each enemy operative within white of that token. If this with this weapon, even if the operative is not in the kill zone. When making those shooting attacks, those operatives are always valid targets and cannot be in cover. At the end of the shooting attacks, remove that token. An operative cannot make this shooting attack with this weapon by any other means, or if the melter mine is not in the kill zone. Notice it doesn't say within white, within the center, from the center of the token. So I guess use a 25 mil token, or like you could use a 25 mil base. Like, they need to clarify that. Like, just say you measure from the center of the token, because, you know, you could use larger tokens from the book and make this blast bigger. Anyway, he's got the plant melter mine ability. Place a melter mine token within black of this operative and more than white from enemy operatives. This operative can only perform this action once and cannot perform it while in engagement range. He's actually still really good. He's like a better mine layer from the Phobos strike team. Like, you can literally, you see a bunch of people bumped up, bunched together, you run him in, like last activation, place that demo mine and laugh, because let's say they've got 3 operatives within white of that, which is very easy to do. They now can't do anything. They have to stand still, because otherwise this mine is going to explode. Like, if they're a 7 wound team or even 8 wound team, it's going to massacre them. Crazy. Like, he's just a suicide demo trooper, basically. Then you got your Kasrkin gunner, which you're going to see a lot of. So you can either have a flamer, grenade launcher, hotshot volley, melter, plasma gun. I personally go with plasma gun, melter, and grenade launcher, although you may drop the melter gun for a hotshot volley gun, depending on like the opponent. I think the hotshot volley gun is nice, but I like the melter gun as just a close combat threat to deny any melee threats. But like the grenade launcher and plasma gun, you always take, and I think you just flip between the hotshot and the melter gun. Maybe on Into the Dark, you go with the flamer instead, but yeah, that's it. It's just your typical gunner that you can take up to 4 of. Then you've got your recon trooper, who has a hotshot las gun and gun butt. He has reconnoitry kill zone. In the scouting step, after resolving your selection, you can resolve an additional recon option, even if you had already selected that option. So you get to do an extra recon dash. If both players have an ability, the defender does it first. Then he has Ward and Auspex, 1 AP, select 1 enemy operative, doesn't have to be visible, until the end of the turning point. Each time a friendly Kasrkin operative makes a shooting attack against that enemy operative, the ranged weapon of that friendly operative gains no cover for that shooting attack, and that enemy operative is treated as not being in cover for the specified cover purposes of elimination pattern, strategic ploy, and neutralized tactical target ploy. This operative cannot perform this while in engagement range. So he's really cool. Like, he gives you an extra dash and he helps your kill team's faction ability work better, notably like having your Pierce and hotshot lasguns. Really, really cool. Like, always an essential piece, and you can keep him quite safe. Then you've got the Kasrkin sharpshooter. He has a hotshot marksman rifle, and he has 2 profiles. He has a sharp shot, which is 4 dice, hitting on 3s, 3-4. Not bad. Then you've got Snipe, which you'll probably always use, which is 4 dice, hitting on 2s, 3-3, heavy silent, mortal wounds 3. Then there's a camo cloak, so you can retain 1 additional dice while in cover. He's really good. Like, I think you always take him and 3 other gunners, just because that snipe ability is so powerful, especially combined with your elite special rule. Like, once he's popped a crit, it's very worth spending like however many elite points to trigger a second crit, so someone immediately takes 6 mortal wounds. He is really, really good, and yeah, like, this is why you always take him and 3 gunners instead of 4 gunners without him. Then you've got the Kasrkin trooper, your basic guy. So his special rule, well, their special rule is elite trooper. So each time this operative makes a shooting attack, you can spend 1 elite point for free, even if you don't have any. That actually makes them really useful. You're going to have only 1. It kind of makes a situation where I would have liked if all the specialists outside the gunner had this special rule. Kind of feel like that's missing. I accept it would be too good on the gunners, but having it on like your medic and comms would have been really useful, because it's the weird thing where you want to take more elite troopers, but you can't because your specialists make your kill team work. But it's really solid, like a really good basic trooper. Then you've got your Vox Trooper, who is your comms, and he works like the Scion one, where he can do his, he can give someone +1 APL just in the kill zone, and he can do it twice. So you can give 2 different models +1 APL, and then that's his activation. Really neat. They kept that, and it has no range, like it's unlimited range. It doesn't need to be visible. Really, really solid. For the equipment, you have a foregrip, where if you make an Overwatch action, you don't worsen the ballistic skill. So really good for Into the Dark. Long range scope. Each for 2 equipment points. Each time a friendly operative makes a shooting attack with this weapon against a target that is more than red from it, if you retain any critical hits, you gain no cover, which is not bad. You probably put this on like your sniper and plasma. I think that's actually pretty solid. You've got adrenaline shot for 1 equipment point. When this operative is activated, until the end of this activation, you can ignore any modifiers to the APL and movement. So nice for your injured guys. I'd probably put this on the demo man, just in case he somehow gets like, depending on the matchup, if someone gives him -1 APL or injures him, really solid. Then you have a frag and crack grenade. Decoy grenade is interesting. So you pick a point within red of the operative, and then you roll a d6 for each operative within 2 white of that point, subtracting 1 if they're not visible. On a 4-up, until the end of the turning point, they can't perform guard or Overwatch. And you can only do this once, and you can't do it while engagement range. It's a nice way to negate Overwatches, but it's way more useful on Into the Dark. But it's all right. And then you've got a stun grenade, which does a similar thing, but subtracts -1 APL. So that's okay. But personally, I'd probably go a mix with foregrips and long range scope. With like, you take a frag and crack, and then I'd probably take 2 long range scopes and a foregrip. But other than that, yeah, it's not bad equipment, just okay. And then also you get a bunch of your usual narrative rules to make a full narrative experience when using this kill team. And once again, they've done a great job with the narrative rules, all really thematic and fun, and really represents what this kill team is about. So for the Kasrkin Overview, they're really well balanced and a solid team. I was terrified of these guys being broken, like they're a full range team. My biggest problem with them is, firstly, they're a very balanced team going into a meta where there's a lot of teams that aren't balanced to their power level, and also Scions exist. So while the Imperial Guard Compendium team exists, I would highly recommend just proxying your Kasrkin as the Scions, because obviously they looked at the Scions as a template and went, they are too good. We need to tone this down because this kill team would be oppressive. I can totally see that, and I can see why they've made all these decisions. The only problem is, while you can still select the Scions are just better. The fact they have 1 more wound, they're on a 25 mil base, and they have better orders. It kind of like, I really like the elite rule. The elite rule is great, and I love how they've balanced the gunners, but the Imperial Guard Scion is just over like a way better, and it's just strange, really strange. But it's like I'm really torn. Like, the miniatures are amazing, like, and this kill team is really thematic and I think solid. It's just very balanced, and I love that it's balanced. But there's like, I hope the devs tone down some kill teams as a response and lock away the Compendium Imperial Guard, and then this kill team would be great. But like, the miniatures are stunning, like really good, and like overall I do really like this kill team. It's just, I would have liked a melee specialist, but I can understand why they can't. And you know, it is nice that there are teams that aren't just like ranged with a melee guy, so you've got your leader for that if you need it. But melee is a big weakness for this team, but it kind of feels right. So for the pros and cons, stunning miniatures, honestly one of the best kill teams they've released visually. They go together really well, so much thematic and fun parts. It's just great. They're a really balanced kill team. For a range team, like compared to Pathfinders, they are just balanced. The elites, like, they have really thematic rules. The elite rule is great, perfectly fits them, and it's like, the only thing I would add is put it on all the operatives apart from the gunners. It's like really solid, really, really nice. And yeah, they just perfectly like represent Kasrkin. Really, really good. Downsides, they're kind of basically invalidated by the Scion Compendium team, which is strange. And as I said before, because they're so balanced, they're going into a meta where kill teams aren't balanced around them. So they're going into kill teams that are stronger, so they can struggle a bit. And oddly, as a downside, they do play worse Into the Dark. You know, they don't have any melee tricks. They just rely on point blank shooting and the demo mine, which only goes so far. It's really strange that they've been released for Into the Dark, but they're not great on Into the Dark. It's odd. Like, it's definitely models first, because, you know, you always get this thing about people saying they release broken rules and stuff. But, you know, if they had more controls with the rules, I don't think they would have just put Kasrkin for Into the Dark. But overall, would I recommend this team? I think so, yeah. It's like it's a nice twist on Veteran Guardsmen, because Veteran Guardsmen are literally the throwaway and like throwaway guys, right? They run onto the points and throw stuff away. Really, like, the weirdest thing is these guys are 7 wounds. I would have loved it if they were 8 wounds, because I think with all the downgrades, they don't hit on 3s. Like, you either make them hit on 3s and 7 wounds, or you make them hit on 4s and 8 wounds. The fact they went with both of the downsides makes them feel a bit rough, but they are really well balanced and they're a lot of fun. Like, if Charles wasn't picking them up, I would definitely do it. Like, I mean, I'm going to have a copy for, like, battle reports and stuff. They're a really fun team. I'd highly recommend them. Like, they're great. Like, they're one of the greatest teams they've released, just because you'll have fun playing them, and so will your opponent. Your opponent won't go, oh, that's crazy, you're just a shooting team, you're shooting me off the board. There's a lot of counterplay, and your Tac Ops encourage you to go forward and, like, engage. It's really, really good. I really like this kill team. I think it's a lot of fun. But yeah, if you want to buy this kill team, you can do it in the Shadow Vaults box, which you can get via my affiliate link at Element Games in the episode description below, which will give you a 15 to 25% discount at no additional cost to yourself while helping to support the channel. But yeah, if you've liked this video, please remember to like and subscribe, as well as comment. Let me know what you thought of the review. Did you agree or disagree? What are your thoughts about the Kasrkin kill team? And yeah, I've got a Discord you can check out in the episode description below, as well as a Patreon if you want to give me some more support. So I'll quickly shout out my patrons. So for my Adepts of the Crit, I have Sam, Tarun, Kenzie, John Thomas, Dave, Daniel, Average Joe 27, Adzik, and for my Veterans of the Crit, I have Samja. So thank you so much. I really appreciate your support, and it helps so much. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me today. Well, as I said, I'll have the Necron and Shadow Vaults box review as a whole. I've got some Kasrkin I can try and show you. Like, where we go? Which one is my favorite? Probably, I just really like the Sergeant. Where did I put the Sergeant? Here we go. Like, you got the Sergeant here. It's in terrible focus. Like, he looks great. If you want to see this is what they look against compared to the Navy. Actually about the same size. I mean, I didn't touch on this. I just remembered this now. But it's weird how it's like the Army Special Ops aren't as good as the Navy. You get more benefits in the Navy. So, you know, if you ever thought about that, according to Games Workshop, the Navy is actually better than being on the front line. But that's just a silly thing on my part. Yeah, you know, it's pretty. I really like this kill team. Like, if they could keep this balance consistently, I would be so happy, more than I already am. But yeah, I think it's a solid kill team. I'm going to paint them up now. And yeah, you know, check out the other reviews I've done if you want. But until next time, remember, no matter where you are in the Gallo Dark, as long as you remain in squad contact and operating as the elite marksman that you are, you'll always win, especially if you can roll a crit.